Welcome back to my channel. This week's story is called The Vampire's Dinner. He would come for me tonight. If I concentrated, I could remember every detail of his previous visits. I rubbed the faint scars on my neck, remembering the thrill as his fangs sank into me, the warmth of his breath on my neck, the way his eyes commanded me, the way he made me feel alive. Every night I dreamed about him, holding him, kissing him. I sat in my cubicle, designing a website for a client, the San Ariano restaurant, the most expensive and exclusive restaurant in the city. One dinner there would cost me a week's salary. They had left very explicit instructions with my boss, Heidi, about what they wanted, and they needed it first thing tomorrow for their grand reopening. It seemed easy enough. I logged into my computer and opened the potential website. First, a set of antique double doors. Second, you click on those, the doors animated and opened. Third, Mr. Ariano, the owner, smiled, welcomed you, and gestured you to the entrance hall. Fourth, the graphic focused on the entrance hall with a fireplace and candles, all animated. So far it worked. Fifth, a menu was supposed to open up, detailing everything they offered. It didn't. The image dissolved into pure diagonal code and scrolled across the screen faster than I could follow. Our programs didn't handle the graphics for some reason. The solution? I had to write a patch and update the software. I'd been doing that since I'd arrived, but I had trouble concentrating on the project. Today was the 7th. I only thought about him, not the website, not my job, not my roommate and her revolving door one-night bed friends. Only about him. I didn't even know his name, only that he excited me in ways no other person ever did. Somebody's got a delivery, Sadie, my coworker, sang. She held a narrow crystal vase with a single red rose in it and set it on my desk. A little card came with it. She snatched the card before I could and opened it. I had to look over her shoulder to read it. 4 words, in exquisite gold calligraphy that made me blush. Dinner, tonight, 9, mine. Sadie giggled. What? I have a date tonight, I said, yanking the card from her so I could hold it. I want you to tell me everything, Sadie said, wrinkling her nose. What's he look like? He's tall, pale, muscular, and I fell in love with him the first time I saw him. You mean lust, Sadie said. Heidi, our boss, was suddenly behind us. She shook her head. No. You don't get to go if that website isn't done. Do you know how much money is on the line? Do you realize the size of the bonus we'll get? Is your sex life worth that? Sadie slipped away, whispering, Sorry. I rubbed the spot where the 2 little scars hid under my shirt. Yes, it is. You should cancel, Heidi snorted. We need this contract. I need you to finish this because no one else can do it. What's so important about this contract? I asked. Your job, Heidi said. I'm sure your date will understand. Heidi walked off. For the rest of the afternoon, I worked as hard as I could, but the update would not work no matter what I tried. 5 o'clock came and went, then 6. Everyone else had gone home. Is it working yet? Heidi said. No. Did you cancel your date? No. We made the appointment a while ago, and I don't have any way of contacting him. He'll think I stood him up. That can't be helped. This has to be done, Heidi said. 7 swept past me. 8. No matter what I did, nothing worked. I slammed my keyboard onto the table so hard the pens in the holder rattled. 8:30. Damn. If I hurried, I'd make it home. Barely. Heidi stepped in. Is it done? I've rewritten code all day, and it still is not working. I've rearranged data, done everything I know, and the website will not run. I'm leaving. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a fresh idea. You're good, but you aren't the only programmer around, Heidi said. You leave and you find another job. We need this done tonight, so the client can see it first thing tomorrow. They see it, they are happy, they write us a big check. We are financially solvent again. I have a job, you have a job, we all have a job. I returned to the computer, and for 15 minutes I stared at the screen, but I couldn't make my fingers move. I looked at the clock and grabbed my jacket. I would make it. Maybe he would be late. I took the vase and ran to the elevator. Does it work? Heidi snarled from her office. No, I said. Where do you think you're going then? I have a date that I might still make. Get back to your computer, Heidi snarled. No, this is more important. Fire me, but I'm leaving. You can't leave. I climbed into the elevator and pressed the button. Heidi reached in and pressed the hold button, trapping the elevator so it didn't move. I'm ordering you to get back to work. I'll throw in a $1,000 bonus, but you must finish tonight. The clock ticked. 9. I would be very late, and my nameless love would find someone else. I slumped against the wall, but Heidi didn't care about my pain, or she didn't notice. She grabbed my arm and pulled me back to my desk. Please, I said, he means everything to me. This contract means everything to me, she said. Finish it. Again, I stared at the computer, and no thoughts came. No thoughts, except the gentle touch of my love, the way his dark eyes could look into me, the way the light glinted off his body, the way his fangs slid into my neck. He would have found somebody else by now. Our special appointment would end, and I would never see him again. I'm sorry, I said, thinking that maybe he could hear me. I'll be there, I promise. Please, wait for me. I stared at the screen, knowing I'd never see him again. He'd find somebody else. The 7th was our day. Not anymore. Your frustration will add an excellent flavor. The atmosphere in the room changed, darkened. The skies outside clouded over. He was here. Unseen, unheard, his sexual presence taunted me. He was angry. I undid the top button of my shirt to placate him. He appeared, not as a bat or a naked man, but dressed in the finest Italian suit I had ever seen. All black, even the shirt and tie, custom fit to showcase his body. His eyes flared red for a moment. I quickly undid the next 2 buttons and slid my shirt back to bare my shoulder. He set a bottle of wine next to my keyboard and laid his hand on mine. His fangs descended. He nicked my shoulder and licked a drop of blood. Vegan and organic, tinged with frustration and sexual desire. Almost at your peak. An excellent flavor. I wanted to surprise you. It was the only way I could think of, I said, lowering my head and afraid of his reaction. To show that I loved you. His voice was soft, gentle, caring. That you did. I'm sorry, I couldn't get away, my boss. Shush, my special one, and do not concern yourself with that. He whispered in that special way that only he could. You have an incredible talent, my delicious summer vintage. Hurry and finish. I'll be back in a minute." His words echoed around my brain, reverberating, bouncing, ricocheting. My brain woke up, my mind cleared, and a deep happiness bubbled through me. My love had found me, had come for me. From the other room came a strange conversation that I almost ignored. "Who are you?" Heidi said. "You are a sad and pathetic common wine," my love said, "not a tasty vintage. Still, I must feed." "What do you mean?" Heidi screamed. "Get away from—" Heidi gave a gargled grunt, then panted, and finally said, "Ugh." My love deeply growled. "You've polluted your vintage and almost prevented me from enjoying my favorite, sleep." Odd sounds came from the room, and my love left for a moment, wiping a little trickle of blood from his mouth. Soon it would be my turn, and I couldn't wait. I stared at the code and saw the problem immediately. By the time my love finished, I had fixed the update and set it in motion. 6 hours running on its own, and it would be ready by morning. His hand joined mine again, and he leaned over me. He kissed me. I let my tongue play over his fangs. He chuckled and nicked my lip. Then he licked the small drop of blood. "Time for dinner," he said. I bared my neck. The next morning, I didn't bother hiding the smile as I skipped into work. Sure, I had the usual hangover after one of his visits, but I didn't mind. I gently scratched the 2 new Band-Aids on my neck and made sure my collar covered them. "Somebody had a good time last night," Sadie said. "How was your date?" "I almost missed it," I said. "But we had dinner here. He brought a nice wine." Sadie looked in my garbage can and pulled out the empty bottle of wine. She chuckled. "A Pinot Noir from 1989? I bet a little more than dinner happened." "Maybe," I said, blushing. "Romantic," she said. "Do you want to trade boyfriends?" "Not ever." Sadie gave me a sly grin. "I'll hide this so our boss doesn't find it. You know how she is." 5 minutes later, the elevator dinged, and a couple of people in business suits got out and went to Heidi's office. Mr. Ariano was one of them. They knocked and knocked and knocked. Sadie went over to talk to them, while I sat down and pulled up the next project. I hope it was something simpler. Heidi showed Mr. Ariano the finished website and walked the gentleman through it. Both men seemed pleased. A sense of satisfaction flowed through me. I couldn't have done this without my love's help. My love's hand had been warm on mine, his breath hot. When he bit me, he brought me to the edge of... "Connor did most of the work," Sadie said. "He missed a big date with his boyfriend, so his boyfriend brought dinner here, so Connor could finish your program. I'll introduce you." I looked over, and Sadie brought the gentleman to my cubicle. Mr. Ariano was an older man, with silver hair and intense eyes. He offered me his hand. "You are Connor? How late did you stay?" 4 or 5 hours. I didn't keep track," I said. "I hope your date didn't mind too much," he said. "Thank you for your dedication. I hope you will be paid overtime?" "Heidi promised me a bonus," I said. "Bring your date to my restaurant sometime," he said. "We have an excellent wine bar, and the evening is on me." "Thanks," I said. "You better be careful. His boyfriend knows his wines," Sadie said. "He brought a Pinot Noir 89. Mr. Ariano's eyebrows raised. "I sold one night before last. Valentin said he had a very special appointment. Was that you? You know him?" I'd never heard his name before. Just knowing this much made me love him even more. "Valentin?" the man said. His eyes narrowed a little, but he smiled. He's a long-time customer of the family. He placed a hand on my shoulder, right on the 2 Band-Aids. I'm sure he felt them through my shirt. Valentin is very selective. He knows what he wants and will not take anything else. He recommended you for my project. Me? I said. We shared a glance, a nod. Mr. Ariano dropped his hand and tapped his shoulder. Valentin is a very long-time friend of the family. A million questions flooded my mind, but now would not be the time. Shouldn't Heidi be here by now? Sadie asked. She was still here when we left, I said. Sadie said, smirking. I bet you 2 didn't look back. We didn't, I said. We had other plans, and no, I'm not telling you about them. Sadie laughed. A soft moan came from behind us. The stench of beer filled the room. All of us looked over at Heidi's now open door. What time is it? Heidi stood in the doorway, her hair a mess, eyes dazed, yesterday's clothes all wrinkled. She tried to straighten her clothes, but they kept that lived-in look. She had a dot of blood on her collar. Does anyone have any aspirin? She had a hangover, but she wouldn't remember why. It took me months to remember, and only after Valentin had visited me multiple times. Too much to drink? I said innocently, reaching into my drawer and grabbing the aspirin bottle. I took it to her, trying to ignore the beer smell. Sadie covered her nose. Mr. Ariano frowned. I handed Heidi the bottle and peeked into the office. Sadie said, What the hell, you hypocrite? Mr. Ariano folded his arms and looked like some stern old grandpa. Connor, this is your boss? How can someone of your caliber stand to work for someone like this? Ma'am, I expected better. 6 empty beer cans lined her desk. The final one had spilled and formed a beer puddle. Somebody had a party last night, Sadie said. Not us. Not here anyway, I said. My boyfriend never touches beer. Heidi turned around, looked at her desk, and paled. I went back to my desk. Sadie did too. My phone buzzed. The caller ID said V. Brancusi, with his phone number. I picked it up. Are you Valentin? The voice was deep and had a trace of a Romanian accent. My delicious summer vintage. We shall see each other again, soon. You are mine. His chuckle sent sexual shivers up my spine.